Yo, what is it, guys? Shinobi here, back again with another video for you guys. And today, this might be the first really controversial video, depending on who you ask, that I've seen in a while. But considering it's Hasan, I mean, you already know how that goes. But apparently, Hasan did a collab with Trash Taste recently, and it didn't go well. No big surprise there. As far as my opinion with Hasan, I don't really have an opinion on him that much. But from what I have heard, he's supported terrorism and a bunch of other stuff, and I even interviewed a terrorist and praised him online, calling him something like having to do with One Piece and whatnot, and a bunch of other crap. Basically, from what I've heard, really popular, or not popular, but one of the top streamers on Twitch, but also one of the most hated people as far as that goes. And he's like really political, and he's apparently been invited on Trash Taste before, and then they invited him again recently, and now here we are. So we're gonna see how it all went. I doubt that it went well because a lot of people do not like that dude. And I'm gonna be real. A lot of the people who probably made this a bad situation. Let's be real. It's like a mix of anime fans probably and just people who don't like him. But either way, we'll see how this all went.
So on February 21st, Hasan was on the Trash Taste podcast, and there's a flood of backlash in the comment section.
Yeah, no big surprise there.
On their show, Hasan is aware of the backlash, and he does not seem happy, making a number of responses addressing it. So let's take a look at all this stuff and let me know what you think. First off, some analytics. The video currently has 290.
Jesus Christ! I mean, shit, if that ain't divided, I don't know what is, bro. And it's probably a lot worse now.
3,250 views with 15,560.
Yeah, that's a split, man.
49% dislike ratio.
And I'm gonna say this before we even get further into this video. With Trash Taste, I know I watched I didn't watch too much of their podcast. I watched one every once in a blue moon. But it is their right to bring Hasan or anybody they want onto a podcast. It's their right to do that. But as far as how it's received, I mean, that's why you kind of have to do them background kind of things, especially when it comes to YouTube, because from what I know, Trash Taste is like hosted by a bunch of people. They're all YouTubers, whatnot, and it's like you guys, like a lot of people. Let's be real. If you don't know who Hasan is, I mean, you're lucky because then you'll get caught up in that drama. Honestly, it's a nothing burger. I'm gonna be real with you. It's a lot of political nonsense, and for somebody like me who hates politics and all that jazz, I'm just not into it. But if you do know about Hasan, it's like, come on, you already know the reputation he has. That's not saying that he can't like anime or this, that, or the third, but his main thing that he does is politics, and he has a lot, from what I've seen, a lot of bad takes. And he's gotten clowned for him, and then on top of this, he's had some really horrible takes too, like once again, the whole interviewing a terrorist thing and all that, and praising him and whatnot, like a lot of bad takes. And don't get me started on his take that he had on women in the Middle East and whatnot. Jesus Christ, I saw that. I think I saw that one on Twitter just by accident because Twitter be just throwing out random shit to you. But it's like, I mean, what did you expect? I'm gonna be real. What did you expect to happen?
This is after Hasan.
A lot of people do not like Hasan.
Combat what he's calling the brigading. So presumably before he did that, this was an even worse ratio. I'll show you the clip where he does issue that statement. Once again, we'll go over all that stuff, and these analytics are provided by jabrek.net. First, a brief clip of the podcast.
And honestly, from what I've heard, Hasan's kind of a hypocrite with some of his takes too, which is
then we'll take a look at some of the comments.
Interesting to say the least. But I can't say much because I haven't watched a lot of them.
Trash Taste. I'm joined once again by the boys, and we have a returning guest because you're back in Japan now.
Hell yeah, I'm here.
Damn, he's in Japan. Shit.
This time it's for real.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, now that my country's on fire, I chose Japan to just stay here.
All right. Whoa.
But yeah, we got Hasan. He's back.
Yeah.
That's
Two seconds in, he's already mentioning politics with how the Middle East is on fire, and I would know because I just got back from there because I was deployed there for a while. It's not sweet out there, bro. I'm being real. I just got back from getting off of deployment from there. It's not sweet out there at all.
Sorry.
Yeah.
no politics. All right, I don't want to hear it.
I love how they can't get 30 seconds into the episode without this dude bringing politics up. Seriously,
Yeah, like not even 30 seconds. Not even.
Anyways, taking a look at the top comments, we've got I'd prefer my anime discussion not to involve.
Oh boy, let's read these. I prefer my. Yeah, no. Let's read these. I prefer my anime discussion not to involve a guy who celebrated the death of. Yeah, once again, he's had some really really bad takes. I think I saw Nux. He's really funny, react to some stuff that he's done, and he's getting cooked. Like, this was probably a really bad time for them to get him on the podcast because he's getting cooked for a lot of things that he said before. So, yeah.
Celebrate the death of innocent civilians in no less than 2 different recent modern conflicts, and who carries water for authoritarian regimes and celebrates terrorists indiscriminately attacking civilian vessels at sea, abducting their crews, and who still...
Like, he literally did a live stream where he interviewed a terrorist that was actively hijacking a vessel. That was some crazy...
As a female viewer, I am absolutely...
That was some crazy stuff going on.
The biggest in the anime YouTube space, happily endorsed an R-word apologist. I looked up to you guys when I was young. I thought you were different. I'm incredibly hurt and disappointed seeing this. And right below that comment, another one that reads, who thought having Hasan is a good idea? This isn't just a simple drama that can be ignored. That's like saying...
I'm about to say, yeah, no. This dude, he's too deep in the politics and all that. He's way too deep, and to make it worse, his takes are terrible. He's too deep. It's the same thing like with Asmongold. He even says it himself with Asmongold. It's like he knows that a lot of people don't like him, and that, because of that, there's certain people or certain content creators who will shy away from him because of that, and he understands it because that's just part of the game. This is the same thing. Once again, it is up to the Trash Taste podcast if they want to invite who they want to invite on, but they also got to understand that they need to know the background of these people too, because you can't just be bringing on anybody and expect everybody to accept it, especially if it's a dude that's like hated. Like, imagine, like, let's take an example. Let's imagine like you bring a Osama bin Laden back in 2004 on a podcast, bro. The people doing that podcast are gonna get shredded, and Osama bin Laden, man, you'll be lucky if he doesn't get an airstrike coming towards him, but I digress.
9/11 is just drama, then proceed to have bin Laden or Al-Qaeda members as guests to talk about their favorite video games. Other comments talk about how people are dropping Trash Taste over this collab. For example, this one saying, I've been your sister.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Similarly, right below that, this one reading, Texan here. I can say with the absolute state of confidence that I can say for the rest of us here in this beautiful state, we have and will never tolerate terrorists and their sympathizers. We delete them. If he's your friend, be a good friend and have a seriously long talk with him about changing his ways or changing his name. It's been a good time listening to you, gentlemen, but this is the end of the road for me. I'll pray for your wisdom and discernment. Stay safe, boys. And right below that, another one reading, this is the last thing produced by Trash Taste that I will ever watch. More comments talking about...
Yeah, that's not good,
right
man.
Those. For example, this one also reading, been following both Joey and Gigux since 2015, but now I'm unsubscribing. Not gonna watch someone who endorses terrorism by hosting this guy. Once again, those comments were just some of the comments that you can find by sorting by top comments. And it seems like there's thousands, if not tens of thousands of comments where people share similar sentiment.
And once again, you also gotta keep in mind, some of these are actually from the Trash Chase podcast, like they're the actual fans of this podcast. And then you got the other ones where it's like, bro, they've been hating Hasan since the jump. They're not even like anime fans, particularly. They're just hating him. So this is just bringing a lot of negativity to the podcast, which is not good. Which is why I said before that, like, when it comes to who they invite on their podcast, I'd say that you have to vet who you bring on, because it could really be bad if you bring the wrong person on. Like, really bad, and we're seeing that right now.
Interestingly enough, the pinned comment is from Trash Taste, and they say, we don't and have never deleted comments on any episodes. And this is because a number of people have been accusing them of deleting comments that are critical of Hasan. For example, this tweet that reads, Trash Taste is getting heat for having Hasan Piker on the podcast and then deleting comments critical of him. Included are screenshots, and we'll take a look at these real quick. This one reading, sad to see they had to delete so many comments. I like Trash Taste, but this is very disappointing. Insecure much? The second screenshot reading, deleting all the comments hating on Hasan is wild though. And the next screenshot reading, funny how this comment section suddenly started glazing Hasan after ripping him apart. Don't think we didn't notice that the top comment got removed.
Hey, I wasn't there to see it. I didn't watch their podcast when they brought Hasan on, but if this is true, that's scummy as hell. That's scummy as hell. I mean, it is their right to do that, but at the same time, it looks really bad. It looks really bad that you're out there just censoring people like that. It looks bad.
That account making a follow-up tweet that reads, even the Trash Taste Reddit wasn't impressed. Going on to quote, first time seeing a 50% like to dislike ratio on a Trash Taste episode. Now those comments are just gone? Is the person who manages the channel actually?
He's
deleting
gotta
them?
be.
Taking
It's
a
the
look
only
at
way.
live screenshots, we can
And the reason they're probably doing that is because, bro, this is probably the first time they've had something like this by bringing Hasan on, and I bet they're probably not going to do that again. I bet they're not going to do that again after this. And now they got to save their reputation by deleting comments. Probably not all of them, but enough to make it to where at least their comment section looks like it's positive about the podcast. Because right now, it ain't looking too good, according to what I'm seeing. And a lot of times, unfortunately, it's like people sometimes just won't watch the video. They'll just go straight to the comment section, see what's going on in there, and if it sounds like the video is trash, then people are not even going to watch the video. They just dislike it and call it a day. So, hey, shit. I know why they're doing it. It still looks really bad, though.
There's actually a lot more to that comment. The full comment reading. The first thing I did when this episode came out was scroll down to the comments. There were hundreds of them expressing the fact that they did not like having Hasan back. Some of them had almost 1,000 likes. Now those comments are just gone. Is the person who manages the channel actually deleting them? Please let this just be a YouTube glitch, because otherwise, wow, that would be low.
Yeah. It also shows that you ain't listening to your audience, too.
Denying that any comments were deleted. Still, it's very interesting that comments on both Reddit and YouTube claim that these deletions are indeed happening, even on the Trash Taste subreddit itself. And so, as always, come to your own conclusions. Speaking of the Trash Taste subreddit, let's hop over there and take a look. Specifically, this post that reads, "Seems like Hasan has brigaded his community to quote-unquote get in and actively counter the brigade."
So basically, his followers, the ones that he does have, is basically going to the Trash Taste podcast and posting positive comments. I mean, if anything, that's even worse, because that means that all the with all the comments that are getting deleted that are negative against Hasan and getting replaced by these positive ones from Hasan's followers, it just shows that you're just like, you're censoring your own freaking fan base who don't like him anyways and are a part of your fan base, and that you're just letting him just do whatever with it. Like, it looks bad, bro. It looks really bad.
The comment section, and linking to a tweet that we'll take a look
and
at.
You already know that the more this video gets passed around,
it got
it's GG's, bro.
Votes before being locked by the moderators. With this mod leaving a pinned comment, a sticky comment rather, that says, "For anyone reading this, if you are not interested in talking about the actual content of the Trash Taste podcast episode, please don't make comments. All you're doing is making our volunteering harder, where we'll just have to lock certain posts and remove posts as well." Yeah, I'm sure that's going to help the situation.
Yeah, it's not. That's just going to make it worse.
Let's take a look at some of the top comments on that post that the mod apparently doesn't like. Well, at least ones that the mod or mods didn't yet remove. For example, this top response that talks about how pathetic it is to issue some kind of counter brigade, and how that's also a brigade. The next one reading, "Yeah, that'll solve the problem for sure." And this one saying, "We wait for another Connor damage control short video, lol." Right below that, this comment reading, "Ah, great, another creator telling his community to counteract the hate. Looks like this is going to be more than a 12-hour drama."
Shit, let's be real, this drama's probably going to last at least a week, if not longer.
He just sends it into a blaze.
It's gonna take a week for them to calm this crap down.
Will the mods A, ban Hasan for brigading, B, delete this post, cue Jeopardy music? Turns out it was actually option C, lock the post and threaten to remove comments.
Pretty much.
With that context, let's hop over to the tweet that was linked in that post in the OP. That being this one that reads, "Hasan Malds, while reading hate comments from his Trash Taste podcast episode, directs his audience to quote-unquote get in and actively counter the brigade." And here's the clip.
"Mr. President, the second piker has hit the Trash Taste. Why would you do this, Hasan? Really? The terrorist endorser? Shame. Too bad. I get irritated from just seeing his face. The guy has said so many profoundly idiotic things that I honestly cannot listen to a word from him. The brigade is on, folks. Get in and actively counter the brigade." They botted the video immediately. Lol, is at 2.5k dislikes.
I'm pretty sure those aren't bots, bro. I'm pretty sure those ain't bots. Not gonna lie to y'all. That shit. And that's what I find is funny, is with Hasan, from what I have seen, the way that he acts is like whenever something's going in his favor, it's all good and dandy. But the moment that somebody does the exact same thing that doesn't go in his favor, then all of a sudden it's, oh, bots and all that. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
"You really upset the Weaves this time?" Yeah.
that dude in chat trying to blame all the dislikes on some like dislike bot is just the icing on the
Yeah,
cake.
that's straight
But
copium.
wait, there's another clip to take a look at. This one that reads, Chatter tells Hasan he's out of touch, which he didn't appreciate.
Because sometimes we'll stare into the darkness on this broadcast. Like, we'll look at like what they're saying, and they just can't comprehend how like journalists are still covering this guy in a positive way.
Which means absolutely nothing, bro. I don't know what world you live in, but we live in a world right now where journalism pretty much is getting replaced by YouTubers, especially if you're talking in the anime and gaming space. Because unfortunately, if you have been keeping up with the drama, the Western journalism people have been just spreading a lot of negativity and have become pretty much, what would you call it? They're not credible anymore. Like, you can see it all the time, especially with stuff like IGN and whatnot, where they rated, like, for instance, take Concord with like a 7, and they rated Dragon Ball Sparking Zero with like an 8. They got cooked for something like that. And then Concord got canceled within 2 weeks after that game had $400 billion or some crap wasted on it. Like, that was pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie to you. Same thing with Black Myth Wukong. Like, journalism doesn't mean anything anymore, especially online journalism, especially since it's been taken over by, hilariously enough, a lot of activists who don't even care about the space. They're just trying to push their own views and whatnot. I could go deeper into that if I really wanted to, but I'm not going to, because it's honestly dumb in my opinion. But like, using journalism or journos as your, what would you call that, credentials that keep covering you, that's pretty bad, because the only reason they cover you is because they're either with you or you just make a lot of content. It's the same reason people who don't like Trump cover Trump. It just gets views.
Is going on, and it's like, dude, why do you think like a 40-year-old journalist has no political convictions of their own? Like, you think they're gonna be deluded by like a drama farmer on YouTube, like a slop tuber, and be like, wow, this is a real bad guy? You think they haven't seen internet harassment campaigns before? You are so out of touch, holy hell. No, brother, I'm not the one who's out of touch. The people that are going, we hate you because we think this person is an evil person, me, okay? We think your friend that you know better, okay, is actually secretly an evil person because...
Well, here's the thing. The only reason people think that is because of what you said and what you have done. It's not like people are just saying that just to say it. They have evidence of you, A, supporting terrorism, B, bringing a terrorist on live while they're hijacking an actual ship. Then on top of that, your comments on women and girls when it comes to the Middle East or just in general. Like, you have been clipped many times, my dude. It ain't like they're just hating for no reason. You have a really bad rep. Like, you might be the most watched streamer when it comes to Twitch, but at the same time, you ain't the most popular one. I'll tell you that. In terms of popularity, there's not a lot of people out there who like you. There are people out there, obviously, but not a lot. Like, if we're talking who, like, a split of who likes Hasan and who don't, bro, it's like,
the assumption that
it ain't looking good.
You, as a random commentator, a random commenter online, is not out of touch, but I am, because what you expect in terms of like retaliation towards someone like myself is not matching the reality is hilarious.
I can't believe how perfect that clip is. Dude's really trying to sound not out of touch by citing journalists.
Yeah.
Oh, 40-year-old journalists support me, as if the opinion of some random journalists proved
He didn't even name the journalist in general. That's the funny part.
Realize that the majority of people despise journalists.
Like, bruh, yeah, no, nobody really likes journalists, and he didn't even name the journalists who support him. That's like me saying that there's a bunch of YouTubers who support me, and yeah, I don't name anything, I don't show the evidence, I don't show proof, I don't even give any names out. Like, what are we doing?
Don't trust them. It's probably one of the most out-of-touch things he actually could have said to use for his argument of apparently not being out of touch.
No, he's completely out of touch if he's trying to use journalists as his source.
And in the clip, he's actually still going on about the whole out-of-touch thing. So let's take a look.
How do you not understand that?
Like, I don't think he realizes that nobody likes journalists
You are
anymore.
so echo-chambered and hug-boxed
The
that
days
you
of Fox
don't
News,
believe that
CNN, and all that are
is
over.
lolcow by anyone that is a normal human being who goes outside. Okay? That's the problem. You're like a 40-year-old dude on Twitch right now being like, you're the one who's out of touch, Hasan, because in spite of the fact that you're...
Didn't you just say that you had a bunch of 40-year-old journalists who were supporting you, but now being 40 years old is a bad thing because it's against you? Remember that comment I made about him being really hypocritical when it's in his benefit? But, yeah, when it's in his benefit, hey, all good, but 4K, man. 4K.
One of the most popular content creators on Twitch. I still think, me and my homies think you're a bad guy. And the more you don't realize that other people don't see it the way that you do, the more you just make up conspiracies in your mind. You can say womp womp all day, but the real womp is happening to you, old man. Calm down.
Why does he keep using this whole like 40-year-old thing? Like, oh yes, the 40-year-old journalists support me, and then this time he's mad at the chatter, saying he's like a 40-year-old dude on Twitch.
Yeah, literally hypocrite within not even 2 minutes.
Theories, but had nothing to say about conspiracy theories when there was this chatter saying like all the dislikes are just some like bots disliking the video. So when it's convenient for him, things are conspiracy theories, but when it's not convenient for him, they're not conspiracy theories apparently. And let me get this part straight. So his defense for being a good person is that journalists support him and that he's one of the most viewed people on Twitch.
Yeah,
is that really the argument that he's going
which
with?
is a really bad argument,
take a look at
because there's a lot of people on Twitch who are like some of the highest viewed people there, but not all of them are good. Not all of them are good, bro. Let's be real. Just because you got a lot of views on Twitch don't mean that you automatically are some savior or that a lot of people like you. Because there's a such thing called hate watching. Trust me. There's such a thing called hate watching. There are people out there who will do that. They will watch you just to hate on you. Which is stupid in my opinion, but there are people that will do it.
Is this tweet that says Hasan rallies the troops.
Being the most highest watched person on Twitch is an impressive feat, but at what cost?
I got lots of weirdos roaming the web recently. It's okay to correct the record, in my opinion. They get away with saying a lot of totally ridiculous things. Everyone is capable of making up their mind if they simply watch the stream. Yeah, people watch the stream and make up their own opinion, but when that opinion's negative, then it's not organic, it's not authentic. That can't be right. It's gotta be bots, it's gotta be brigading. Anyways, let me know what you think about this whole trash taste Hasan situation.
Yeah, no, the whole thing is bad. Once again, I have nothing against trash taste. They can bring on who their podcast, who they want to bring on, whatever. But they also gotta keep in mind that they gotta do background checks on who you're bringing on, bro, or else stuff like this ends up happening. And I'm betting that they did not see this coming, because I bet that they don't keep up with the politics as much as everybody else does. Once again, Hasan just got cooked really recently for some dumb stuff, especially with him supporting the terrorists and Hamas and all that. And then, you know, recently some really, really bad stuff has happened in the Middle East with Hamas. It's like, it's not looking good for him whatsoever. At all. And then they invite him on the podcast while all this is happening. Like, I mean, what did you think was going to happen? Either way, that's pretty much going to be it. I'll leave a like on the video. I'll leave the link down to this video down below. Leave your like, you know, leave your comment, leave your like, all that stuff. You know, normally, once again, I don't cover this kind of thing, but, you know, when it comes to this, I don't know, man. I just saw it scroll past my screen, and I was like, hey, let's look at it. Let's look at it. Let's see what's going on, because normally I don't care about what Hasan does. With him trying to get back into the anime space, and after all the stuff he's said and done, sheesh. Not a good idea, man. Not a good idea. I want to stick with politics, my dude, because, yeah. And honestly, I'm going to be real. This doesn't even affect Hasan at all. Like, his thing is fine. It's trash taste that's going to have to deal with the blowback here, as we've clearly seen, which really sucks. Because up to this point, I think they were doing good, but this really sucks for them more than it does for him. So, without further ado, She Got Shinobi, signing off. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
I believe that's the most important stuff that we went over. As always, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed.